In the cacophony of our modern lives, where conversations never cease and the urge to express dominates every waking moment, silence has become a forgotten virtue. Yet, for those who seek mastery over the mind, silence is far from mere absence of noise. It is an active, deliberate state of being. What if we saw silence not as emptiness, but as a powerful tool for reflection, restraint, and strength? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy rooted in reason and self-discipline, offers profound insights into when to speak and, more importantly, when to remain silent. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, once noted that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This ancient wisdom reminds us that silence is not weakness, nor is it submission. It is an expression of thoughtful control, an intentional pause that allows us to navigate life's complexities with clarity and composure. In a world driven by impulsive reactions, cultivating this quiet strength becomes a transformative practice for personal growth. True silence, according to Stoic philosophy, is far from passive. It is an act of inner governance. It is the deliberate choice to pause, to reflect, and to act from a place of reason rather than emotion. It protects us from the chaos of external events, shields us from unnecessary conflict, and allows us to focus on what truly matters: the development of character, the pursuit of virtue, and the cultivation of inner peace. In this exploration of Stoic wisdom, we will uncover 9 pivotal moments when choosing silence isn't just wise, it's life-changing. By embracing the art of strategic silence, you may find not only a greater sense of tranquility, but also a newfound strength to face life's challenges with grace. Whether it's responding to criticism, dealing with anger, or navigating rumors, silence becomes more than a reaction. It becomes a path to self-mastery. 1. When being criticized unfairly, a Stoic approach to inner strength. Unfair criticism is an inevitable part of life. It may come in moments when you least expect it: sharp, unwarranted remarks from a colleague, harsh judgment from someone who misunderstands your intentions, or baseless accusations driven by envy or malice. In such moments, our instinct is often to defend ourselves, to argue, or to strike back in frustration. But Stoic philosophy, with its timeless wisdom, offers a radically different approach. Silence, not as an act of surrender, but as a demonstration of profound strength and control. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most revered Stoic thinkers, once said, "If something external disturbs you, it is not the thing itself but your judgment of it that causes the disturbance." This insight calls us to shift our focus inward, to reflect on our perception of criticism rather than being consumed by the words themselves. The Stoic path teaches us that what truly matters is not the opinion of others, but the clarity and integrity of our own character. When we choose silence in the face of unfair criticism, we are not ignoring it, we are mastering it. Consider this: reacting impulsively often leads to regret, while a measured silence allows time for clarity. By pausing, you grant yourself the opportunity to separate what is useful from what is merely noise. This deliberate act of restraint prevents unnecessary conflict and safeguards your inner peace. More importantly, it projects an image of quiet confidence, an individual who does not need to prove their worth through argument, but rather through the consistency of their actions and the excellence of their work. Epictetus, another great Stoic philosopher, reminds us, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When faced with unjust criticism, a Stoic does not rush to defend themselves. Instead, they calmly assess the situation, discerning whether any truth lies within the critique. If there is something to learn, they take it as an opportunity for self-improvement. If not, they let it pass without allowing it to disturb their inner equilibrium. This practice transforms criticism, fair or unfair, into a tool for growth, a means to cultivate resilience. In a professional setting, for instance, Imagine being criticized by a superior for a decision you made during a project. A typical reaction might involve defensiveness, an attempt to justify your actions. But what if, instead, you embraced a moment of thoughtful silence? What if you absorbed the critique without immediate response, reflected on its validity, and allowed your subsequent actions to demonstrate your competence? Such a response not only preserves your composure but also earns respect, as it shows maturity and wisdom. Silence, in Stoicism, is far from passive. It is an active decision to rise above petty disputes and distractions. It is a means of preserving your focus on what you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your character. In choosing silence, you choose peace over turmoil, strength over weakness, and wisdom over impulsivity. As you navigate life's inevitable moments of unfair criticism, ask yourself, what do I stand to gain by reacting impulsively? More often than not, the answer will be very little. Instead, consider the power of thoughtful silence. Let your response, or lack thereof, be a reflection of your inner strength. As Marcus Aurelius so succinctly advised, don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. By embodying this principle, you not only cultivate personal growth, but you also inspire those around you to adopt a higher standard of conduct. In a world filled with noise and reaction, the Stoic silence speaks louder than any defense could ever hope to. It is a silence that commands respect, nurtures peace, and exemplifies the highest form of self-mastery. 2. In the face of boasting, the Stoics' quiet confidence. Boasting is a common social phenomenon. People flaunt their achievements, wealth, or status to gain approval, attention, or validation. Whether at work, in social gatherings, or online, such behavior often tempts us to respond in kind, to assert our own worth by listing our accomplishments. Yet, for a Stoic, reacting to boasting with similar behavior is a trap, a subtle battle of egos that leads to nothing but shallow comparison. Stoicism teaches that silence in these moments is not a sign of inferiority but a powerful expression of self-assurance and wisdom. The Stoic view on boasting is rooted in the belief that external validation is fleeting and ultimately irrelevant. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The approval of others should mean nothing to you, for what is praised today may be forgotten tomorrow." When someone boasts, they reveal their dependence on external recognition. In contrast, the Stoic remains anchored in their internal values, recognizing that true self-worth comes from living in accordance with virtue, not from public acknowledgement. Silence, in such instances, is a testament to one's inner confidence, a quiet strength that speaks louder than any words could. Imagine being at a social event where a colleague eagerly shares their recent promotion and newfound lifestyle upgrades. The natural impulse might be to counter their boast by mentioning your own successes, subtly trying to one-up them in the conversation. But what if you didn't? What if, instead, you offered a sincere nod, perhaps a simple congratulations, and allowed the moment to pass without inserting yourself into the narrative? By choosing silence, you demonstrate that your self-worth isn't contingent on others' perceptions. You show that you are secure enough to listen without needing to compete. This deliberate choice not to engage in a contest of egos reflects a deeper understanding of life's priorities. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." In moments of boasting, craving recognition often masquerades as confidence. But a Stoic knows that real wealth lies in self-contentment, not in outward displays of success. By staying silent, you avoid being drawn into superficial rivalries and maintain your focus on what truly matters: your personal growth and the pursuit of wisdom. Furthermore, silence in the face of boasting isn't passive, it's strategic. It allows you to conserve energy, remain composed, and engage meaningfully only when necessary. Engaging in boastful exchanges drains mental clarity and fosters unnecessary tension. On the other hand, remaining silent positions you as someone grounded, reflective, and above petty competition. Over time, this approach builds a reputation for quiet dignity and thoughtful presence, a hallmark of Stoic practice. Another important aspect of silence in these situations is that it fosters deeper self-awareness. When you resist the urge to boast, you invite yourself to reflect on why such an urge arose in the first place. Is it insecurity? A desire for validation? Recognizing these inner stirrings is an essential step toward mastering them. As Epictetus taught, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. A Stoic does not seek to adorn themselves with fleeting praise, but with enduring virtues. By refraining from boastful responses, you not only preserve your own peace, but also create an environment where others may reflect on their behavior. In a world where self-promotion often drowns out humility, your silence can inspire introspection in others, prompting them to question the value they place on external validation. This quiet influence, though subtle, can be profound. It shifts the focus from competition to contemplation. In the end, the Stoics' goal is not to impress others, but to live in harmony with their highest principles. The next time you find yourself in the presence of boasting, pause and consider the power of silence. Ask yourself, what do I stand to gain by speaking? More often than not, you'll find that the answer lies not in proving yourself to others, but in reaffirming your commitment to inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, be content with what you are, and don't concern yourself with what others think. True confidence doesn't need to announce itself. It radiates quietly, steadily, and unmistakably. Choosing silence in the face of boasting isn't merely a refusal to speak. It's a declaration of self-mastery. It's a testament to the strength that comes from knowing that your worth is determined not by others' opinions, but by your fidelity to your own principles. In a world that prizes noise, let your silence be a beacon of true confidence, wisdom, and grace. 3. When dealing with anger, the Stoic path to mastery over emotions. Anger, in its raw form, is like a wildfire, fierce, destructive, and indiscriminate. It arises quickly and often without warning, clouding judgment and leaving damage in its wake. While anger is a natural human emotion, Stoicism teaches us that it is how we respond to anger that defines our character. In moments of anger, the impulse to lash out or retaliate can feel overwhelming, yet the Stoic path calls for silence, a calm, measured pause that allows reason to prevail over emotion. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's most influential thinkers, offers a profound insight. It is not events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. This principle reveals that anger stems not from external circumstances, but from how we perceive those circumstances. By choosing silence when anger stirs within us, we create space to challenge and reinterpret our initial reactions. This space, however brief, can be the difference between a reckless outburst and a thoughtful response. Imagine a scenario at work where a colleague's error causes a significant setback in your project. The immediate reaction might be one of frustration or even rage. You may feel justified in expressing your anger openly, perhaps believing it will assert your authority or correct the behavior. But what if instead you chose to remain silent? What if you allowed yourself a moment to breathe, reflect, and consider the best course of action? This silence is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about tempering them, allowing your rational mind to take the lead. In this quiet pause, clarity emerges, enabling you to respond with wisdom and composure. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, famously wrote in Meditations, "How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it?" This reflection urges us to weigh the cost of anger before acting upon it. More often than not, the damage caused by an angry reaction far exceeds the harm done by the original offense. By embracing silence in moments of rage, we shield ourselves from unnecessary conflict and preserve our inner peace. It's important to note that choosing silence does not equate to ignoring problems or avoiding confrontation. On the contrary, it is a conscious strategy aimed at finding the most constructive solution. When we react in anger, we often lose sight of our true objective, resolution. Silence grants us the opportunity to approach the situation with a level head, ensuring that our response aligns with our values and long-term goals. This practice not only diffuses tension but also strengthens our self-discipline, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Furthermore, silence in the face of anger serves as a powerful example to others. In a world where impulsive reactions are the norm, the ability to remain calm under pressure is both rare and admirable. It signals strength, maturity, and self-control, qualities that inspire respect and trust. Over time, this practice cultivates a reputation for being unshakable, someone who is guided by reason rather than ruled by emotion. The Stoics also remind us of the importance of perspective. Seneca, in his essay on anger, advises us to view life's irritations with a broader lens. He suggests asking ourselves whether the source of our anger will matter in a day, a week, or a year. Most often, the answer is no. By adopting this long-term perspective, we can see the triviality of many provocations and choose to let them go. Silence, in these moments, becomes an act of wisdom, a refusal to be ensnared by fleeting emotions. Practicing Stoic silence in the midst of anger requires effort, but the rewards are profound. It nurtures inner tranquility, enhances our decision-making, and fosters healthier relationships. Each time we choose silence over an impulsive reaction, we strengthen our emotional resilience, bringing us closer to the Stoic ideal of the sage, one who is unshaken by life's tempests. The next time anger flares within you, pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what will this anger achieve? Will it bring me closer to the person I strive to be? Let your silence be a testament to your strength, a declaration that you are in control of your emotions, not the other way around. As the Stoics teach us, true power lies not in dominating others, but in mastering oneself. By embracing the quiet strength of silence, you transform anger from a destructive force into a catalyst for growth and self-improvement. 4. Amidst false rumors, Stoic silence as a shield of integrity. In every society, rumors spread like wildfire, fueled by speculation and the human tendency to draw hasty conclusions. False rumors, in particular, have the power to tarnish reputations, sow discord, and create unnecessary strife. When confronted with such rumors, our first instinct may be to defend ourselves, to clarify the truth, or to refute the falsehoods. Yet, Stoicism offers a different approach. Silence, not out of passivity, but as a conscious act of strength and wisdom. By choosing silence, we rise above the chaos and protect our inner tranquility. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This insight serves as a guiding principle when dealing with false rumors. We cannot control what others say or believe, but we can control our reaction to it. In such moments, Stoic silence is an acknowledgement that engaging with every false claim only adds fuel to the fire. It is a deliberate decision to focus on what truly matters: our character, our actions, and our inner peace. Imagine the scenario of a dedicated professional who becomes the target of baseless gossip within their workplace. They might feel compelled to confront each person spreading falsehoods, to explain their side of the story in an attempt to clear their name. But what if, instead, they chose to remain silent, continuing their work with unwavering integrity? Over time, it becomes evident to those around them that actions speak louder than words. The rumors lose their power, and the individual's consistent behavior becomes their defense. Seneca, another great Stoic thinker, advised, "A good conscience is a continual feast." When faced with false rumors, the Stoic does not rely on others' opinions for validation. Instead, they draw strength from the knowledge of their own integrity. This approach not only preserves their peace of mind, but also prevents unnecessary conflict. By refusing to be dragged into petty disputes, they maintain their dignity and focus on what they can control, their own actions. Moreover, silence in the face of rumors demonstrates a profound confidence. It shows that one's sense of self-worth is not dependent on public perception. In a world obsessed with appearances and reputation, this quiet self-assurance is rare and powerful. It signals to others that the truth needs no loud defense. It will reveal itself in time. As Epictetus reminds us, if anyone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself against the accusations, but reply, "You do not know my other faults. Otherwise, you would have mentioned these as well." This response, rooted in humility and wisdom, reflects a deep understanding of human nature and the futility of trying to control others' thoughts. There is also a strategic element to Stoic silence. Engaging with false rumors often leads to escalation, giving undue attention to unworthy claims. By choosing silence, we allow the storm to pass. In time, rumors fade, and the truth remains. Those who are wise will discern the truth not by the noise made in its defense, but by the quiet strength of consistent character. The Stoic knows that true respect is earned not through argument, but through living in accordance with one's values. Yet, Stoic silence does not mean ignoring wrongdoing altogether. It means choosing one's battles wisely. When false rumors threaten to harm others or undermine important principles, the Stoic acts, but not impulsively. They speak only when their words serve a purpose, guided by reason and virtue. This balance between silence and speech is what gives Stoic communication its unique power. It is measured, thoughtful, and aimed at resolution, not confrontation. As you navigate situations involving false rumors, consider the power of silence. Ask yourself, will engaging in this dispute serve my higher purpose? Or will it merely entangle me in unnecessary conflict? Let your silence be a reflection of your confidence, a shield of integrity that cannot be pierced by baseless words. Remember that your worth is determined not by the fleeting opinions of others, but by the steadfast principles you live by. In a world where reputations are often built on perception, Stoic silence reminds us that true character needs no audience. As Marcus Aurelius aptly put it, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. By embodying this principle, you become a beacon of strength, wisdom, and integrity, a living testament to the enduring power of Stoic philosophy. Through silence, you rise above falsehoods, not by fighting them, but by rendering them powerless. 5. How to deal with loss. Finding strength in Stoic silence. Loss is one of life's most profound challenges. Whether it's the passing of a loved one, the end of a significant relationship, or the sudden disappearance of a long-held opportunity, loss has a way of leaving us in a void, a silence that can feel overwhelming. While many rush to fill this void with words or distractions, Stoicism offers a different path, embracing the silence, sitting with the pain, and using it as a crucible for inner growth. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." In times of loss, our mind often amplifies the pain by clinging to what is no longer there or fearing a future without it. Stoicism teaches us to confront these emotions head-on, not by denying them, but by reframing them. The silence after loss is not a void to be feared, but a space for reflection, acceptance, and eventual renewal. By sitting in this silence, we allow ourselves to process the grief without being consumed by it. Consider a person who has just lost a close friend. In the immediate aftermath, they may feel compelled to explain their emotions, seek solace in endless conversations, or distract themselves with activities to avoid the heaviness of absence. Yet, a Stoic response would involve a different approach: quiet contemplation. This doesn't mean suppressing emotions, but rather giving them room to exist without judgment. It means allowing the silence to guide them toward a deeper understanding of life's transience and their own capacity for resilience. Marcus Aurelius reminds us in Meditations, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This stark acknowledgement of mortality isn't meant to induce fear, but to cultivate presence and gratitude. Loss, when viewed through the lens of Stoicism, becomes a teacher, reminding us of the impermanence of all things and urging us to cherish what remains. In this way, the silence following loss is not an empty void but a fertile ground for wisdom and growth. Stoic silence during grief serves another essential purpose. It shields us from unnecessary noise. In a world where people often feel compelled to offer hollow platitudes or quick fixes for grief, choosing silence allows us to remain centered. It helps us avoid the external chaos and focus on what truly matters: our own healing. Instead of seeking comfort in the opinions or reassurances of others, the Stoic finds solace in the quiet strength of self-awareness. As Epictetus taught, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. This isn't to say that Stoicism advocates isolation during times of loss. On the contrary, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of community and mutual support. However, it also teaches that true healing begins within. By first embracing silence, we cultivate an inner resilience that allows us to engage with others from a place of strength rather than dependence. We become capable of both giving and receiving support without being overwhelmed by the weight of our emotions. Moreover, the Stoic approach to loss involves finding meaning in the experience. Rather than dwelling on what was taken, Stoicism encourages us to reflect on what was given: the moments shared, the lessons learned, and the ways in which the experience has shaped us. In this sense, silence becomes a space for gratitude, not only for what we've lost but also for what remains. It is in this reflective silence that we discover the strength to move forward, not by forgetting, but by integrating the experience into our journey of growth. The silence after loss is not a passive state. It is an active engagement with life's deepest realities. It invites us to confront our fears, accept life's uncertainties, and find strength in the knowledge that, while we cannot control the external world, we can control how we respond to it. As you face moments of loss, ask yourself, how can I use this silence to grow? What can this experience teach me about life, love, and resilience? In doing so, you transform silence from a symbol of emptiness into a source of profound inner strength. Seneca beautifully expressed this idea when he wrote, "The day which we fear as our last is but the birthday of eternity." Loss, seen through the eyes of Stoicism, is not an end but a transition, a reminder that life is ever-changing and that each ending carries within it the seed of a new beginning. By embracing silence in these moments, we cultivate the strength to endure, the wisdom to learn, and the courage to continue forward with grace. In a world that often urges us to avoid or rush through grief, the Stoic practice of reflective silence offers a path to true healing. It allows us to face loss with dignity, to find meaning in suffering, and to emerge stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Through silence, we honor what we've lost, nurture what remains, and prepare ourselves for the path ahead. A path illuminated not by avoidance, but by acceptance and growth. 6. Navigating ignorance with Stoic grace. The power of composed silence. Ignorance, in its many forms, is an inevitable encounter in life. Whether it manifests as misguided opinions, ill-informed statements, or obstinate refusal to acknowledge truth, ignorance often tests our patience and composure. The natural response may be to correct, argue, or prove one's point. Yet Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, offers a different response. Silence, not as an act of surrender, but as a powerful demonstration of restraint and grace. Epictetus, the great Stoic teacher, once said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." This truth highlights a fundamental aspect of ignorance. It often stems not from a lack of knowledge, but from a closed mind. In such situations, engaging in argument is rarely productive. Instead, Stoicism teaches us to remain silent, allowing our actions, character, and calm demeanor to convey wisdom more effectively than words ever could. By choosing silence, we protect our peace and avoid being dragged into futile debates. Consider a scenario in which you encounter someone who loudly proclaims inaccurate information, refusing to listen to differing viewpoints. The impulse to correct them can be strong, driven by a desire to uphold truth or defend your knowledge. But what if you chose instead to remain silent, offering only a thoughtful nod or a calm smile? In that moment, you signal that you are unbothered by ignorance, that you do not require external validation to feel secure in your understanding. This silent confidence speaks volumes. It conveys a mastery over the self, a refusal to be disturbed by external noise. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who caused the injury." In the face of ignorance, this principle guides us to act not with hostility, but with dignity. Engaging with ignorance on its level often leads to frustration and conflict. By maintaining silence, we preserve our inner balance, rising above petty quarrels. This practice is not about avoiding confrontation, but about choosing when and how to engage meaningfully. Sometimes, silence itself becomes the most eloquent response. Silence in the face of ignorance also fosters deeper understanding. It allows us to observe rather than react, to study the behavior and motivations of those around us. This reflective practice enhances our ability to navigate future encounters with wisdom and patience. As Seneca noted, "He who is brave is free." In this context, bravery is found in the strength to resist the need to prove oneself right. True freedom lies in the ability to choose one's response, unhindered by external provocation. Furthermore, choosing silence when confronted with ignorance is a means of conserving energy. Life presents countless opportunities for meaningful dialogue and growth. Wasting energy on fruitless arguments detracts from those opportunities. The Stoic recognizes that their time and focus are precious resources, best directed toward pursuits that nurture their mind, character, and well-being. By practicing silence, they safeguard their energy for what truly matters: self-improvement and virtuous action. Stoicism also reminds us to cultivate empathy when dealing with ignorance. While it can be tempting to view ignorance with disdain, a Stoic understands that everyone is on their own path of learning. There was a time when we, too, were ignorant in certain areas, and there will always be things we do not yet understand. Silence, in this light, becomes an act of humility. By refraining from judgmental speech, we allow space for understanding and, perhaps, the gradual enlightenment of others through our example. In moments when ignorance provokes you, ask yourself, what will this argument achieve? Will it lead to greater understanding, or merely drain my peace? More often than not, you will find that silence is the wisest course of action. It keeps you centered, shields you from unnecessary conflict, and demonstrates a quiet strength that commands respect. Over time, this practice not only preserves your own tranquility, but also encourages others to reflect on their own behavior. As you navigate life's many encounters with ignorance, remember that your goal is not to win arguments, but to live a life rooted in virtue and wisdom. Let your silence be a testament to your self-mastery, a shield against the chaos of the world. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By mastering the art of composed silence, you cultivate the strength to remain undisturbed by ignorance and the grace to rise above it. 7. When confronted by rumors, the Stoics' path to unshakable peace. In an age where information spreads rapidly and gossip often masquerades as truth, facing rumors has become an unavoidable part of life. Rumors can be harmful, eroding trust and damaging reputations, even when they lack any basis in reality. When confronted by such whispers, many feel the urge to defend themselves, to correct the narrative, or to seek validation from others. Yet Stoicism offers a more profound response: silence, not as an act of resignation, but as a powerful testament to one's integrity and inner strength. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wisely wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who caused the injury." This timeless Stoic teaching emphasizes the futility of engaging in battles over perception. Rumors thrive on attention, on the energy spent trying to refute them. By choosing silence, the Stoic denies the rumor its fuel and, in doing so, renders it powerless. Instead of reacting, they focus on living in accordance with their values, trusting that actions speak louder than words. This approach shifts the focus from external noise to internal clarity, reinforcing a sense of self-worth that is independent of public opinion. Imagine a scenario where someone spreads a false rumor about you at work, suggesting that you took credit for a colleague's efforts. The immediate reaction might be to confront the source or explain your side to everyone involved. However, a Stoic response would be different. Rather than engaging in a public defense, you might choose to stay silent, allowing your consistent actions and professionalism to reveal the truth over time. In doing so, you demonstrate confidence in your character, a quiet assurance that the truth does not need to be shouted, for it will ultimately become evident through your behavior. Seneca once remarked, "What others say about you is none of your concern." This statement reflects a core Stoic principle. We cannot control what others think or say, but we can control how we respond. Engaging with every rumor distracts us from our higher purpose, personal growth, and virtuous living. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, mindset, and integrity, we remain grounded, unshaken by the shifting opinions of others. Moreover, silence in the face of rumors communicates strength. In a world where many rush to defend their image, the Stoics' refusal to be drawn into petty disputes signals a deeper confidence, one that is rooted in self-awareness and moral clarity. This quiet strength not only preserves one's peace, but also commands respect. Over time, those who observe your calm demeanor may begin to question the validity of the rumors themselves. After all, someone who remains composed and unwavering in the face of falsehoods exudes an air of credibility that no words can replicate. Choosing silence, however, does not mean passively accepting injustice. Stoicism teaches us to act when necessary, but only after careful reflection. If a rumor threatens to harm others or undermine critical values, speaking out may be the right course of action. Yet even then, the Stoic speaks with purpose and restraint, avoiding emotional reactions and focusing on facts and solutions. This balance, knowing when to remain silent and when to speak, is what makes Stoic communication so powerful. It is thoughtful, deliberate, and always aligned with one's principles. In moments of reflection, the Stoic also recognizes that rumors reveal more about their originators than about their subjects. Those who spread rumors often do so out of insecurity, jealousy, or a desire for attention. Understanding this can help us cultivate empathy, not anger. Rather than being consumed by frustration, we can view such situations as opportunities to practice patience, humility, and compassion. As Epictetus advised, when someone criticizes you unfairly, remember that they are acting according to their beliefs. It is your job to act according to yours. The next time you find yourself the subject of a rumor, pause and reflect. Will responding serve my higher purpose? Or will it merely entangle me in unnecessary conflict? In most cases, you will find that silence is the wisest path. Let your actions, not your words, be your defense. Trust that those who matter will see the truth, and those who choose to believe falsehoods were never truly worth your time or concern. Ultimately, Stoicism reminds us that our peace of mind is far more valuable than the fleeting opinions of others. By embracing silence in the face of rumors, we rise above the noise, preserving both our dignity and our focus on what truly matters. As Marcus Aurelius so aptly put it, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In living this principle, you embody the essence of Stoic wisdom, turning every rumor into an opportunity for growth, every whisper into a moment of unshakable peace. Through silence, you cultivate not only inner strength, but also a life rooted in authenticity and virtue. 8. When confronted with injustice, the Stoics' calm resolve in the face of adversity. Injustice is a harsh reality of life, one that often evokes a powerful emotional response: anger, frustration, and the urge to retaliate. Whether it's being treated unfairly in a personal relationship, overlooked at work, or witnessing broader social inequities, our natural instinct is to demand immediate retribution or correction. However, Stoicism teaches a different path: calm resolve, deliberate action, and, most importantly, silence. An intentional pause that allows wisdom to guide our response rather than emotion. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wisely said, "Bear and forbear." This simple maxim encourages us to endure life's difficulties with grace and to restrain ourselves from acting out of impulse. Silence, in moments of injustice, is not passive acceptance, but an act of deep self-mastery. It is the space we create to assess the situation clearly, free from the cloud of anger. Injustice often provokes irrational reactions that escalate conflict. By choosing silence, we preserve our composure, enabling us to respond with reason rather than being swept away by emotion. Consider the example of a professional who is unfairly blamed for a failure in a team project. The instinctive response might be to defend oneself vocally, perhaps even shifting blame onto others. Yet a Stoic would handle this differently. Instead of reacting impulsively, they would pause, reflect, and choose their words, or lack thereof, carefully. Silence in this context does not mean ignoring the injustice, but rather waiting for the right moment to present a measured, factual response. This approach not only preserves their dignity, but also prevents the situation from spiraling into unnecessary conflict. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us, the best way to avenge yourself is not to become like your enemy. This profound insight underscores the importance of maintaining our principles in the face of injustice. Retaliating with anger or malice lowers us to the level of those who wrong us. By remaining calm and composed, we retain control over ourselves, demonstrating a higher standard of character. Silence becomes a shield, protecting our integrity, guarding our peace, and signaling to others that we are not easily shaken. However, Stoicism does not advocate passivity in the face of all injustice. There are moments when action is necessary, but even then, it must be guided by reason and virtue, not by uncontrolled emotion. The Stoic response to injustice involves thoughtful engagement, choosing when and how to act in a way that aligns with one's values. Silence, in this sense, is preparatory. It allows time to reflect, to understand the situation fully, and to determine the most effective course of action. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we should fear injustice, but that we should fear reacting to it improperly." This teaching reminds us that our true power lies in how we respond. Injustice may strip us of external comforts, but it cannot take away our inner strength unless we allow it. Silence, when paired with thoughtful reflection, becomes a tool for preserving this strength. It prevents rash decisions and fosters clarity, enabling us to navigate adversity with wisdom. Moreover, silence in the face of injustice can inspire those around us. When others see us enduring unfair treatment without losing our composure, they may be moved to reflect on their own reactions to life's challenges. This quiet strength can lead to deeper respect and trust, both of which are essential for meaningful influence. In this way, silence not only benefits the individual but also contributes to the broader environment, fostering a culture of patience and reason. The Stoic approach to injustice also involves accepting what we cannot control. While we can strive to correct wrongs and advocate for fairness, we must recognize that the external world is often beyond our influence. What we can control, however, is our internal state, our thoughts, emotions, and actions. By focusing on what is within our power, we free ourselves from the torment of trying to change what cannot be changed. This inner freedom is the ultimate goal of Stoicism, to remain unshaken by life's external turmoil. As you encounter moments of injustice in your life, pause and ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my principles? More often than not, you will find that silence, followed by thoughtful action, is the wisest course. Let your calm demeanor and deliberate responses serve as a testament to your strength, reminding yourself and others that true power lies in self-mastery. In a world where injustice is inevitable, the Stoic remains resolute, not by fighting every battle, but by choosing battles wisely, acting with purpose, and preserving their inner peace. As Marcus Aurelius so aptly advised, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. This principle encourages us to respond to external wrongs with understanding and to hold ourselves to the highest standard of conduct. Through silence, reflection, and deliberate action, we transform injustice from a source of suffering into an opportunity for growth, wisdom, and lasting strength. 9. How to handle insults. The Stoic shield of composure. Insults, whether subtle or overt, have the power to provoke an emotional reaction, hurt, anger, or indignation. When we are insulted, it feels personal, as though our very worth has been called into question. In such moments, the temptation to respond in kind, to defend our pride, or to lash out is strong. Yet, Stoicism teaches us a radically different approach. Silence, not as weakness, but as the ultimate form of self-mastery and composure. By choosing silence, we refuse to grant the insult power over our emotions, maintaining our dignity and inner peace. Epictetus, one of Stoicism's greatest teachers, famously said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." This insight shifts the focus from the external insult to our internal response. The insult itself is meaningless. It gains power only when we allow it to disturb our tranquility. The Stoic understands that reacting impulsively to an insult only validates the insulter's intention, while silence renders their attempt ineffective. By remaining silent, we demonstrate that our sense of self-worth does not depend on the opinions of others. Imagine being publicly criticized or mocked by a peer in a meeting. The immediate urge might be to defend yourself or retaliate with a sharp remark. But what if, instead, you chose to remain silent, offering no reaction to the provocation? In that moment, you reclaim your power. The absence of a response signals that you are above petty insults, too grounded in your self-awareness to be shaken by superficial words. Over time, this practice builds a reputation for calmness and strength, making you someone who cannot be easily provoked. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This principle teaches us that insults only harm us if we allow them to. By reframing insults as reflections of the insulter's character rather than our own, we protect our inner peace. Silence, in this context, becomes a shield, a means of deflecting negativity without internalizing it. It allows us to maintain focus on what truly matters: our values, our actions, and our personal growth. Furthermore, silence in the face of insults is not merely a defensive strategy. It is a statement of confidence. It shows that we do not feel compelled to prove our worth through argument or confrontation. Instead, we let the quality of our character and the consistency of our behavior speak for itself. This quiet confidence is far more powerful than any verbal response, as it demonstrates that our self-esteem is rooted in something far deeper than fleeting external validation. Seneca, another Stoic master, reminds us, what difference does it make, after all, what others think of you? You are what you are. This wisdom encourages us to detach from the opinions of others, recognizing that their words do not define us. Insults, when viewed through this lens, become irrelevant. By refusing to react, we rob them of their power and affirm our independence from the judgments of others. Silence, then, becomes an act of liberation, a way to free ourselves from the need for external approval. Choosing silence when insulted also cultivates empathy. When we pause instead of reacting, we create space to reflect on the insulter's motivations. Often, insults stem from insecurity, envy, or personal struggles. Understanding this can help us respond not with anger, but with compassion. This does not mean condoning the behavior, but rather recognizing that the insult says more about the other person than about ourselves. By practicing silence, we rise above the immediate emotional response and maintain our commitment to Stoic virtue. In moments when you feel the sting of an insult, ask yourself, does this insult define who I am? Or is it merely noise from someone who does not know my true self? The answer, more often than not, will remind you of the power of silence. Let your calm demeanor be a reflection of your inner strength, a testament to your refusal to be controlled by the words of others. As Marcus Aurelius advised, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. By holding ourselves to this standard, we cultivate resilience, self-discipline, and a deep sense of self-respect. In a world where conflict and ego often dominate interactions, the Stoic silence stands out as a beacon of strength and wisdom. It signals to others, and to ourselves, that we are not easily swayed by external forces. Through this practice, we not only shield ourselves from unnecessary emotional turmoil, but also inspire those around us to adopt a higher standard of conduct. Ultimately, the Stoic response to insults is about mastery over our emotions, our reactions, and our sense of self. By choosing silence, we transform what could be a moment of weakness into an opportunity for growth. We affirm our commitment to living with integrity, composure, and grace, regardless of the external circumstances. Through the power of silence, we cultivate an unshakable inner peace, proving that true strength lies not in loud retaliation, but in quiet resilience. Conclusion: life is filled with moments that test our patience, provoke our emotions, and challenge our inner peace. From criticism and rumors to insults and injustice, each situation presents a choice: react impulsively or respond with thoughtful silence. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, invites us to take the latter path, to embrace silence not as weakness, but as an act of strength, self-mastery, and profound wisdom. Silence, when chosen deliberately, becomes a powerful tool for personal growth. It allows us to rise above conflict, preserve our dignity, and act from a place of reason rather than emotion. In a world where noise often drowns out clarity, the Stoic silence stands as a quiet rebellion, a refusal to be consumed by the chaos of external events. It teaches us that true strength lies not in domination, but in control over ourselves. It reminds us that our worth is not determined by others' opinions, but by how closely we live according to our values. As Marcus Aurelius so aptly said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is the essence of Stoic silence, an acknowledgement of what is within our control and a commitment to respond with wisdom, grace, and composure. By cultivating this practice, we not only transform how we experience life's challenges, but also inspire others to do the same. So, as you move forward in your journey of self-mastery, remember the lessons of Stoicism. In moments of conflict, pause. In the face of insult, remain calm. When rumors spread, stay grounded. And when faced with life's injustices, choose thoughtful action over impulsive reaction. Let your silence be a reflection of your strength, a declaration that you are not swayed by the noise of the world, but guided by the quiet power of reason. If you found value in these Stoic principles and want to continue exploring timeless wisdom for a more peaceful, focused, and resilient life, we invite you to join us on this journey. Subscribe to our channel to gain deeper insights into Stoicism, ancient philosophy, and personal development. Together, let's cultivate a life of purpose, clarity, and unshakable inner peace. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next lesson. Stay strong, stay thoughtful, and above all, stay stoic.